Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're stepping into an investigation that, well, its sheer horror forced the government of Lebanon to confront a deep moral crisis.
hmm
The facts around the death of 6-year-old Lyn Talib were so devastating, they actually broke a decade-long moratorium on the death penalty.
That's right. It led to its re-execution, underscoring just how profound the societal impact was.
So our mission here is to synthesize that chain of events, the moments of, frankly, unimaginable crime, and maybe even more crucially, the calculated familial betrayals that allowed it to become fatal.
Yeah, this case really is a study in consequences. It became this national pressure point, demanding accountability where the most basic social contract protecting a child was just utterly, completely shattered.
When we track the facts, we're essentially tracing the path from, well, what seems like a parent's difficult decision, right up to a judicial reckoning unseen for 10 years.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's 2023. Lyn Talib is 6 years old, described as cheerful, playful.
A typical little girl.
Right. And her world's shifting a bit. Her parents, Nader Talib and Nader Bou Khalil, they'd recently finalized their separation just before Ramadan that year.
And the father, Omar, he harbored this deep, persistent uneasiness about the mother's family.
It wasn't about specific conflict necessarily.
Not explicitly detailed, but more like a profound, gut-level mistrust.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get that. A difficult spot for a father. Lyn wanted to spend the Eid al-Adha holiday with her mother and the maternal family at their home.
And despite his internal conflict, Omar agreed. He prioritized his daughter's happiness.
And that decision tragically created this small, fatal window.
It did. So the day of the handover comes. The maternal family, they're all at the hospital. Lyn's aunt, the uncle's wife, is giving birth.
So Omar doesn't drop Lyn directly with her mother, Wad?
No. He leaves her with neighbors who are also relatives. And crucially, witnesses confirm Lyn was healthy, energetic, playing normally when he left her. No issues at all.
Okay. Then, just a few short hours later, the maternal family gets back home.
And this is where the first alarming clues surface. Immediately. Lyn is different.
How so?
She's lethargic. She's complaining bitterly that her shoulder and her arms hurt. The mother sees strange, unexplained marks on Lyn's body.
Oh, wow.
Her fever is spiking uncontrollably, and she's refusing food or drink.
I mean, those are massive red flags. That screams emergency room, right?
Absolutely. But the initial response from the mother and the maternal family, it seems like calculated denial. They rely only on home remedies.
Is there any context for why? Why avoid a hospital right then when the signs were so severe?
The sources really point to a pattern of secrecy right from this very moment. That immediate choice, home remedies over a doctor, despite a spiking fever and obvious trauma, it suggests they were already shielding something.
Or someone.
Or someone, protecting a narrative, perhaps a secret, before protecting the child. That seems to be the emerging pattern.
Okay, let's track this timeline then. The 8 days after that handover. This isn't just negligence, is it? It's watching a child just deteriorate.
Rapidly. Horrifically. The symptoms didn't just stabilize, they escalated into, well, catastrophic failure. Lyn began continuously vomiting blood.
Vomiting blood.
Yes,
Yeah.
and suffering from persistent, unusual internal bleeding. I mean, we're talking severe, life-threatening symptoms that demand immediate surgical intervention, not home care.
But the denial continued.
The commitment to denial remained absolute. It's baffling.
And then there's this almost unbelievable point in the timeline. 4 days into this crisis, it's the second day of Eid.
Yes.
Instead of a hospital, Wad, the mother, takes Lyn to an amusement park.
An amusement park. They later claimed it was to lift her spirits.
It sounds, I don't know, like a desperate performance, trying to project normalcy while this horror is unfolding.
It seems that way. And it was disastrous. Lyn lost consciousness right there at the park.
Oh my God.
Only then, really forced into action by the public nature of the collapse, did Wad rush Lyn to a nearby clinic.
Okay, so finally some medical attention.
Yes, but listen to this. The doctor at the clinic instantly recognized the severity, suspected a major infection, maybe acute bacterial contamination because of the blood vomiting, the bleeding,
Right.
and issued a direct, urgent order. Get her to the nearest hospital emergency room. Immediately.
Okay, so she went.
No, she ignored it. Wad took Lyn home.
What? After a doctor's direct order?
Yes, intending to self-medicate for what was clearly a severe systemic failure. Again, consciously choosing to avoid institutional diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
And that decision.
It proved fatal. Just a few hours later, back at home, Lyn was completely unresponsive. Cold, Her organs were shutting down.
Oh,
The grandfather and the uncle, they rushed her to the hospital then, but it was far, far too late. The doctors pronounced her dead. The official cause cited was severe anemia from acute bleeding.
but that medical finding, that was only part of the story, wasn't it?
Not even close to the whole story, no.
So after her death,
Hmm.
the reaction from the maternal family, that raises even more red flags, right? The hospital wanted an autopsy.
Standard procedure, especially with unexplained bleeding leading to death in a child. They needed to find the source of that bleeding.
And the family's response.
Vehement refusal. The mother and her family fought it hard. Their reason. They claimed they didn't want to disfigure Lyn's body before burial.
Disfigure. That sounds like an excuse.
To investigators, that refusal, combined with the mysterious bleeding, it was an enormous, immediate red flag. They were actively obstructing the process of finding out why she died.
Meanwhile, Omar Talib, the father, gets the news.
Imagine that call. He calls the mother frantic, desperate for information.
And what does she tell him?
A complete fabrication. Wad claimed Lyn died in a sudden accident.
An accident. But the hospital said acute bleeding.
Exactly. It starkly contradicted the hospital's finding. Omar's suspicion, which was already there, must have just skyrocketed.
And then it got worse for him.
It did. His suspicion turned into conviction when he demanded to see Lyn's body one last time, to say goodbye.
And they refused.
The maternal family refused to let him view her. That refusal, that exclusion, that was the final confirmation for Omar. He knew they were hiding something horrific.
So he went to the police.
Immediately, filed a police report accusing the mother's family of responsibility for Lyn's death.
Okay, so the investigation begins. What was the mother's initial story to the police?
Deflection. Pure deflection. She tried to turn the tables, accusing Omar and his family of abusing Lyn. Claimed Lyn was already unwell when Omar returned her.
But there were witnesses.
Exactly. That was easily dismantled. The neighbors who saw the handover confirmed Lyn was brought there in perfect health, playing, energetic.
And Watt's story had other problems.
Big problems. Investigators quickly picked up on a crucial pattern. Wad's statements were riddled with inconsistencies, and her testimony clashed severely with what the grandparents were saying.
So the family narrative just wasn't holding up.
Not at all. It couldn't survive even initial scrutiny, and this pushed the case very quickly into the public spotlight in Lebanon. People were demanding answers.
And then the forensic report arrived, 3 days after Lyn passed away. This was the moment everything changed, wasn't it?
This was the critical turning point. It transformed the entire investigation from, maybe neglect or medical mystery to undeniable violent crime.
What did it say?
It revealed the horrifying truth. The acute bleeding that killed Lyn. It wasn't natural, it wasn't bacterial, it wasn't accidental.
It was.
The forensic team determined it was the direct result of a violent sexual assault.
Oh my God.
The report confirmed the sheer brutality. The assault had ruptured Lyn's internal genital organs. That was the source of the bleeding.
And the other injuries the mother had noted.
The pathologist cataloged them too. Extensive bruising, specific signs of violence consistent with assault, and that dislocated shoulder bone noted early on. This wasn't some hidden illness. This was a brutal, targeted attack on a 6-year-old child.
This forensic evidence must have blown apart the family's attempts to blame the father's side.
Completely. Remember, they'd initially tried to point the finger at the paternal uncle.
Right.
Investigators definitively proved, using travel records, documents, that the paternal uncle was physically outside Lebanon during the entire window when the crime could have occurred. He was completely ruled out, no question.
So the police investigation pivots sharply.
Exactly. If outside suspects are eliminated, the perpetrator had to be someone with access to Lyn during that crucial short period, that window when she was dropped off before the family returned from the hospital.
And the family's behavior after the report?
Their intense nervousness, the evasion displayed by the mother and the grandmother once the forensic results became public. It just solidified the police's growing suspicion.
The crime was committed by someone inside that eternal home.
Yes. The investigation narrowed, focusing solely on that inner family circle. It became a non-public, intense focus on them.
So they started questioning everyone in that circle.
Every member, including Lyn's maternal uncle, Nader Bou Khalil. He wasn't initially seen as a prime suspect, interestingly enough.
But his statement raised flags.
Immediately. Profound red flags. His testimony severely clashed with the narrative the rest of the family provided.
How so?
Well, the family had claimed he was with his wife at the hospital for the birth the entire time. Nader contradicted this. He said otherwise. Plus, his extreme tension, his demeanor during questioning, it made him a central figure of interest very quickly.
They needed more than just suspicion, though.
And they got it. Digital evidence provided the definitive proof. They searched Nader's mobile phone records, cell tower pings.
Yeah.
They placed it at the house, precisely during that short, crucial window, when the rest of the family was confirmed to be at the hospital and Lyn had just been dropped off, alone with him.
Wow. That's damning.
And it wasn't just the location data. The physical evidence quickly mounted. DNA samples.
From Lyn?
Yes, taken from under Lyn's fingernails, from her clothing. It was an exact, irrefutable match for Nader Bou Khalil.
Defense wounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also had fresh scratches, defense marks on his own body.
So, faced with all this,
They confronted him. And investigators searched his phone more thoroughly. They discovered images, many images of children in compromising situations. It confirmed his history, his pedophilic deviance.
so he confessed.
Faced with overwhelming, irrefutable evidence, yes. Nader confessed. He reconstructed the crime.
What did he say happened?
He admitted he used the family's absence as his opportunity. He took Lyn to the bathroom. He placed adhesive tape over her mouth to silence her.
Which explains the lip swelling and bruises the mother saw right away.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It all started to fit together in the most sickening way.
But then this confession revealed something even more devastating.
Yes, this was the ultimate betrayal. Nader admitted that the mother, Nader Bou Khalil, and the grandmother knew.
Knew what?
They knew he had assaulted Lyn from the very first day, when the symptoms first appeared.
They knew, and they did nothing.
Worse than nothing, they deliberately conspired to conceal the crime, to protect the perpetrator, their own family member, the uncle, over the life of that child.
So the refusal of medical treatment.
It was deliberate. They refused the help that would have saved her life. Instead, they chose to let Lyn suffer for 8 excruciating days, bleeding internally until she died.
To hide the crime.
Hide the crime. Their attempts to hide evidence even included things like placing Lyn in saltwater baths, trying to reduce the visibility of the bruising, trying to destroy forensic evidence.
It's unimaginable, the scale of the cover-up.
The judicial response, thankfully, was swift and definitive. Nader Bou Khalil was convicted of the assault and the murder.
Not just him.
No. The mother, Nader Bou Khalil, and both the grandmother and the grandfather were also convicted, and subsequently sentenced to death by hanging for their roles in the cover-up, the concealment, and ultimately allowing Lyn to die.
And that sentence, the death penalty.
It carried extraordinary weight. As we said, it was the first execution carried out in Lebanon after a 10-year moratorium. It speaks volumes about the severity of this ultimate familial betrayal.
It also highlights something painful, doesn't it? About how investigations sometimes rely on family cooperation.
Absolutely. The system often assumes, initially, that the family are protectors. When they become the accomplices, the burden falls entirely on outsiders, like the father in this case, to force the truth out.
His actions were truly key.
Undeniably. The horrifying lesson here is just the catastrophic consequence of prioritizing family secrecy, of defending an abuser over the life of an innocent child. I mean, the psychological mechanism that allows a mother and grandmother to watch that suffering for 8 days and choose cover-up, it's one of the darkest aspects imaginable.
And the father's fight, his refusal to accept the lie, demanding to see his daughter going straight to the police that unlocked everything.
It did. It really underscores the necessity, sometimes, of listening to your gut instinct, of challenging those inconsistent narratives, even when it's incredibly difficult.
This case just shattered the social contract, didn't it?
Fundamentally. And when that public outcry forced the justice system to bring back dormant, maximal penalties, it really forces society to ask a hard question. How do we process the complexity of justice when the greatest danger, the most profound cruelty, came not from a stranger, but from within the family, from the supposed protectors? What does justice even mean when the family itself becomes the crime scene?